everybody, to Beyond the 90. I'm joined with James, as per usual, and our other friend, Doug. Doug, how are you?
I'm good. Neil, how are you?
Yeah, let's not talk about it. James, how are you?
I don't want to swear, so I'm not going to comment.
I think me and James, it will be a very, very boring show if we both be quiet for the whole thing. So, yeah, so as you probably both know, Leicester have just lost 1-0 to Chelsea. I just want to start with the positives first. So Chelsea were the better team. And I just want to say Cashless Michael, once again, during the coronavirus, coming to our rescue. And it could have been way, way worse. A couple of offside goals for them, a couple of goals that were close, and a couple of absolute brilliant saves by Schmeichel. So, yeah, overall, Doug, what are your thoughts on this game?
It was a crazy game of football. I mean, honestly, like the first half, Leicester looked like they were the team coming out all guns blazing. Chelsea looked really lethargic and tired, I thought. Probably all the exploits from Thursday evening, obviously having beat Man City. And then in the second half, Lampard makes a triple substitution. Azpilicueta, Barkley and Kovacic, and that just changed the game for me, because when when Barkley and Kovacic came on, especially Barkley, I thought he was the difference in the Chelsea team, because Chelsea looked like a different team in that second half, and Leicester just had no answer to them, unfortunately. But it's disappointing for you guys to obviously go out in the the quarters, but maybe that is the sort of the kick up the backside. You kind of need to obviously focus on your league form, I think.
Yeah, it reminds us very similarly of what happened to Liverpool, but we'll probably get onto that coming up to later. But overall, I think in the first half, he makes some really points. I think in the first half, there was a lot of in the midfield that we needed to capitalize on, and we didn't have any like clear chances apart from, you could say, the Johnny Evans chance. But overall, just really disappointing. We looked like coming into in the first half that we're like, okay, we're on good terms with Chelsea. If not, we've had the better opportunities, and we just need to make the most of it. So I don't know. What do you think of James? What do you think of the defining moments of this game?
I was quite disappointed Pratt came off. He was on a game, was spreading the ball quite well, so I was a bit disappointed that he came off. First half, I think it was our best 11. Let's not try and dress it up, against an average Chelsea 11, I'd say. 3 substitutions at half time. Everyone could see it coming, and then started to play really well. Chelsea goal was coming. For me, we've missed so many chances in the first half. Barnes' touch was not the best. I think Vardy had so many little chances, and the chances he did have, it just didn't look like the Vardy we know out there. So again, like you said, Kasper's kept us in this. Let's not try and dress this up. Kasper's kept us in this. They had quite a few clear-cut chances. If it wasn't for Kasper, we could have gone down. But I still believe we should have been 2-0 up at half-time due to missed chances.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring in Dewan as well. Oh, I think you've just done the same. Dewan, are you hear us?
Hi, Neil. Hi, guys.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we've got Doug as well here, and James and myself as usual. So just quickly, what do you think of the game that's just happened?
Well, I was just hearing a few of the chances that you guys missed as well. Leicester with Vardy. I wasn't sure. I think Vardy should have come off, in my opinion, in the second half. It was a very scrappy game overall, but when Leicester in the first half had some chances, especially Vardy being 1-on-1, Barnes, they missed a few of those decent chances, whereas Chelsea only had that in the second half. They played better, Chelsea, but they weren't that good. That ball from William was probably the only good thing from Barkley, which was the finish from his performance. But it was a very scrappy game. It wasn't a game of end to end. It was more about who's gonna give a ball away and open up opportunity for the other. There were some scrappy passes from Rudiger, and it was a very scrappy game overall. It wasn't a great game to watch as a fan, but Leicester should have cut their had their chances taken in the first half. In the second half, I think the substitution was all right. Gray came on, didn't create much. Chilwell, except for that free kick in the first half, his crosses weren't that much, causing too much danger for the Chelsea defense. Overall, like I said, it wasn't a great game.
Yeah, I agree. And there's just some parts of it that I felt really annoyed about. So we're coming up to the last 10 minutes. Yes, we had a couple of spells, but it didn't look like we were throwing everything at the defense, at their defense. Yeah. It seemed to be a bit too much tiki-taka, I think. That's been a theme. I remember when I was sitting with you, Dewan, a couple of seasons back when Brendan Rodgers was in charge. There's something similar happening there. I just want to say it's just looking at the teams that started. So obviously, we put, as James mentioned, our strongest team out. But I just want to read you the substitutes that they had, the Chelsea team. So they had Arrizabalaga, Alonso, Jorginho, Barkley, Pedro, Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, Giroud, and Azpilicueta, all on the bench, just ready to go. Now, that is a hell of a bench coming into a team where they had the stronger team overall, but we just didn't see him in it at all. In the first half, there was a couple of mistakes from Gilmour, which I think we could have capitalized on, which we didn't as much. And just overall, I think it was a game won by the subs. It was at times, as soon as Kovacic and, as you were saying, Doug, earlier on, when Barkley came on, that just changed the game, and that inevitably won them the game. And this is what happens when you've got a team that's throwing money at people, just as Man City have done in the past. So I was disappointed for the way we played. We just didn't seem to be there for the entirety of the match. But yeah, once again, Casper's coming to the rescue once again. I just wanted to get your thoughts, James, on the substitution. So we brought on Gray, we brought on Pratt, and we brought on Chowdhury. Were they the right substitutions for you?
And Albrighton.
And Albrighton, yes.
So I think Gray was the right choice. Barnes' first touch was woeful all game. His decision making was quite poor. Chowdhury, yes. I don't think Pratt's got the game time that he should have had, and he's not 100% fit. So I understand that. However, I'd have probably brought Tielemans off because his decision making again was poor. But I think maybe the substitutions were right. Albrighton brings more to the game than Perez ever will do, because he's putting the crosses in, and I think he played a lot better. I think for me, as I think that Ant's already said, Iheanacho should have came on for Vardy, and I think Duran said the same. Vardy should have came off. He wasn't having the best of games. Yeah. So I think he should have probably come off, put Iheanacho on, fresh pair of legs to run at people. I think it's difficult to break them down. Whipping balls in is a bit difficult. I don't really think we can whip balls in because we haven't got the kind of striker that's going to get his head on the ball. And when you've got their two centre-backs, it just seems like a pointless exercise.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely at times, just as Ant has just said there, we've gone from scoring 9 in one game to scoring 9 in 10 games. So far since the lockdown, we've just looked not great on form. The first half looked decent, but I don't know. I just want to open this question up to you two Liverpool fans as well. So is this something? Or first of all, congratulations! It's first podcast back since you guys have won the league, and it's just to kind of opens up to you, Doug. Is this a similar feeling to what it was like when you guys were ahead winning the league and you just ran out of steam at the end of the year?
Yeah, it is. It's very, very similar, isn't it? It feels like, Leicester have won 4 out of the last 15 Premier League games as well, which is really, really worrying, especially when you've got a really, really, really hard running, to get top 4. But yeah, it is feeling a lot similar now, I think, to the Rodgers days of Liverpool. Obviously, we beat Man City, we beat Norwich, and then it just kind of fell apart. Obviously, losing to Chelsea, drawing with Palace, everyone knows Cristambull, or if you want to call it that, and then obviously beat Newcastle as well on the final day, and obviously it was too little, too late. So it does feel like Leicester are running out of steam a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Just one on the similar point to that. What way did Liverpool kind of turn it around with Brendan Rodgers, or was there a way of, since after you won the league, that there was any kind of hope that they were going to secure something else? Because we're kind of looking for anything at the moment, and we've not really got the subs bench to really carry us forward.
Well, when Brendan Rodgers was around, Liverpool had some very good quality players. But what he did during the time when Liverpool came second and were about to win the league was when they came against Chelsea. What he did wrong was that he went ahead and tried to play an all-out attack in a game where he just needed a point. And this is the sort of strategy he has sometimes. Which, if once, obviously now he's more confident and he understands the game more because he went to Celtic, he's been at Swansea, so he does understand the game a lot more. But against Chelsea today, I think looking at Leicester's squad, they need someone like Maddison. I don't know. They needed someone with creativity, someone with a cross, like an Ericsson ball in, or some sort of midfielder that will create a chance for Vardy, because Vardy didn't do much. First half, yeah, he had a few chances because of Gilmore giving the ball away a few times, and other than that, Vardy didn't do much in the second half. I was hoping for Vardy to do something, to someone to give him the ball, but the midfielders, I think, and Didi did okay defensively, but attacking he didn't. That's what I felt that Leicester were lacking was just the creativity part.
Yeah, there's something that I agree with, that we just lack that. And we tried at times, it seemed like Pratt was trying to fit into that role and provide that link up, which I think he did only once or twice during the first half. And then second half, he was taken off. He looked absolutely fuming when he was taken off. And I think that was the wrong substitution. Tielemans should have been dropped. Pratt was doing okay. And just Tielemans, his touch was all over the place. He did a couple of good things, but it just looks like downhill from when we bought him, to be honest. And I'm really, again, like you were saying, having Maddison in that team would have been brilliant. I think he was out with injury or he was left out of the team for some reason. But it's just things like something that James has mentioned before. We get to 80 minutes, we're 1-0 down. They've brought on Loftus-Cheek and they're playing a decent brand of football and we're passing it round the back. I don't know if this is a similar thing to when he was at Liverpool.
But that's my point there, is that when so for example when we're talking about Vardy, he needed someone to link up with him, such as Maddison. Now the defense, they need a midfielder to come back and like a Kante, obviously, you know, he's at Chelsea, but someone like that who comes back, helps the defense out, brings the ball, moves forward with the ball. A bit like Billy Gilmore. I mean, he's a very young, talented player. Yeah, he wasn't that great today, of course, but I was surprised that he got taken off before the second half started, because I think he was still okay. He still worked hard. Yeah, okay, he gave a few of the ball away, but you know, if he was given time, he just needed time just to get into the game. Whereas the other players, they've already played a lot more competitive games. So he's a young lad, and I think he needed a bit of time. But saying that, that's what I think Leicester need. It's just Brendan Rodgers needs to go out. Well, obviously, you still got time for the season to end. Well, we're not saying the season's ended or anything, but just for next season, he needs to prepare himself and get some midfielders in. Yeah, Tielemans is fine, but in these type of games against Chelsea, if you're trying to compete for the top four, you need someone in that midfield to do the defensive work and the attacking work, because nowadays just a midfielder doesn't do much. You need both sides, attack and defense, and that's what I think Leicester's lacking at the moment.
I'm going to agree. I think me and Neil have discussed this at length that we're the team that needs a 12th man on that pitch. Vardy thrives off all the abuse and bad comments he gets from away fans. He's not getting any of that, and it's probably not spurring him on as much. Been down the King Power when it's been rocking. That our fans are our 12th man and always have been. And I think without that 12th man, we're starting to struggle. Get to 80 minutes, that 12th man spurs you on for the last 10 minutes. Whereas now we're getting to 80 minutes and passing it around the back and no real urgency. And I think that is probably what we're missing the most at the minute, is that urgency and that 12th man that's always behind the team. So I think that's probably why we are struggling, is that's not there. Yes, you can pick out the faults, but I think without that 12th man, we're going to struggle for the rest of the season, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just on that as well. I think there's part of that is the issue, and part of it is just we're running out of steam, just as Liverpool did. So we changed formations this time. We played a 4-3-3, and we played at the beginning. We had Barnes and Perez up in them high positions. Just James, so since you've watched Leicester for the rest of the season, I think this is one of the first times we played 4-4-3. We normally switch for like 4-2-3-1. How do you think that affected our play?
Not really that much at all. It's just a kind of bit of a transition from what we normally play. It's not that much different. So I don't think that hurt us. The first 5 minutes, we're all over them. Everyone saw how good we were. And that tempo just kind of dropped after 15 minutes. And I think Brendan Rodgers said the other day that our tempo and rhythm and intensity has been dropping lately, and he needs it to get back. And I thought first 5 minutes, the tempo and the urgency is back, but then it just disappeared as soon as Chelsea came on. And I think we used that 12th man to get that tempo back because the crowd started cheering, get on the back, and all the players start responding to it. But every single game I think I've seen us play, even the first game against Watford, when they score, our heads kind of drop. I know it was the last kick of the game, but today, as soon as they scored, our heads just dropped.
Yeah, and we just didn't see times when Chowdhury or Tielemans got in decent position in the middle. We just couldn't seem to get it out of our feet and play some fluid football. Or Chilwell would get the ball on the left-hand side and just not know what to do with it. And there was times where it was so frustrating because there was opportunities to really get a better result than this, and we just didn't seem to handle it. At times, it was like men versus boys, and we just looked like the smaller team. And it's quite disappointing that we got knocked out of the cup. But we'll see how to recover as well. But from that's pretty much what I've got in my notes. I think that Perez actually, I think he had a decent enough chance, but there wasn't enough service into Vardy, which I thought we would try and attack more. Having one of the best strikers in the Premier League and one of the best high-scoring players in the Premier League is just, and not having him there is just not good enough. Anthony just puts there. I'm not sure with Chilwell found it so funny at full time. I didn't see that as well. Maybe he was just laughing at the fact that he's going to go and join Chelsea in the future.
He was laughing and joking with Barkley at the end, and people are going to read into it. It just seemed like they were kind of joking around. I'll be there soon, and it's just a thing people will pick up on. It's not very professional when your team's just been dumped out the FA Cup, I'll say. But kind of we are where we are.
You're missing Pereira badly. I think you're missing Pereira. I noticed that Justin was trying to find, Perez. He was trying to find long balls to Vardy, but with Pereira, he's much more forward thinking, and he's even a good defender as well. I'm not saying Justin's a bad defender or anything, but I just feel that Pereira gives you so much more going forward.
I think that's right. Pereira is very good, but also Justin looks like a very good future prospect, but that's not what Leicester need at the moment. They need someone to run forward with that ball, and cut down the right, as well as create those opportunities for the forwards. I think Barnes is a good player, but his finishing is lacking. I think he needs to improve slightly with his finishing. I like him. I like Barnes, but he's just his finishing. Other than that, he's a very good player. And I agree with Pereira. If Leicester had Pereira on, maybe there would have been a few more chances for Vardy.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think Pereira was heavily missed. With Pereira's forward running and backtracking, the wingers don't generally need to do that much, which Perez has been used to. Whereas it's different this time because Albrighton's different because Albrighton does backtrack, whereas Perez doesn't. So Justin got a bit singled out in the first half. But when Albrighton came on, the right side looked a bit more secure. But yeah, agree with everyone. We're completely missing Pereira.
Yeah, I agree. I think Anthony's put a comment in saying we needed a goal, and Brendan Rodgers brings on a holding midfielder in Chowdhury. Now, this is, I think, part of the issue where we didn't really have anybody on the bench to really replace, but also this is potentially where we don't really have anybody in that position to really fill that. So I think Chowdhury's brought on because to close the space, and he did it for a bit. But the problem was when he got the ball and when he retrieved the ball, he kind of froze. Like a lot of Leicester players, they just seem to get the ball. What do I do now? Which you would have thought had been drilled into them tactically, and I think they just look like. Let's not forget that Chelsea are pretty much a world-class team at the moment, and they're playing some fantastic football. To play like they did against Man City and beat them for you guys to win the league, and then to play against us in the way that wasn't the best, as the one I'm saying, wasn't the most useful way of playing, but it was just it was enough to get them by, and it just almost seems as if we just kind of let them through, and that was the most disappointing bit because we just didn't look like we were up to the game. Yeah, and Swartz said, the substitutions were poor. I think they were poor, but at the end of the day, there wasn't really anything else we could have done substitution-wise because there wasn't really anything off the bench. Was there any other substitutions you could think, James, that we could put on that would have made that much of an impact?
No. When we do our podcast, we've talked many, many times that I always keep saying we've not got that squad in depth that you need. And if we do get to the Champions League next year, we are going to have to heavily invest in squad depth. Yes, we've got players in depth, but we've not got the kind of game changers you can come on that's going to do something like Chelsea have, like the Liverpools have. Your substitutions are strong, and when they come on, they are strong. Whereas we brought Gray on, no one's really got much confidence in him. Who also we got on the bench? We've got Morgan. He's not going to come on and replace the defender. We've not really got that squad in depth. Generally, when Madders is playing, we can bring on Pratt, and he does try and change the game a bit. But with Tielemans not firing on all cylinders as of late, it's difficult to say our substitutions are any good because you can't see someone coming on and completely changing the game. Nacho could come on and change the game and be better than Vardy. It's just difficult. Kind of, who do you bring on that's going to change your game? And I don't think we've got that squad in depth this year.
Yeah, and that's. Do you think?
Go for it.
Do you think the most disappointing thing about today was that you didn't really give Caballero anything to do?
Yeah, I think so. I think again, he's not the best goalkeeper in the world. I'd have been testing him for range from the start if it was me. Get some shots in, test him. And I don't think we tested him enough. A lot of the shots were just wide, high. Again, Barnes' decision-making was quite poor. There was 2 chances where he went for goal where he could have squared it to Vardy, gone back post to Vardy and create them chances, but it didn't seem to be coming. And as Ant said, we lost to Chelsea's B team. Let's not beat around the bush. Simply not good enough. We have ambitions to be competitive with these types of clubs. That's right.
Yeah.
Chelsea are near 1 point off us. Look at their team. Man United are starting to come good again. Wolves seem to be unplayable at the minute. I think we're going to have a very, very tough few games. We've got Everton Wednesday night. That's now become our biggest game of the season.
Yeah, I kind of agree. That I don't think that is pretty much it. I think just to kind of pass it on to you guys. So over to Liverpool talk a little bit more. So congratulations for winning the league. It finally came to be after coronavirus, after all this stuff. And it took a Chelsea team, just as we know firsthand as well, to actually win and beat us and put us through. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? Is it something that's been happening for a while, or is it come? Would you have preferred to win it on your own terms?
I think it's been inevitable for a long, long time. I think people have obviously known about like Liverpool being so far ahead of everyone else, and I think it has been inevitable that we were going to win it. Would I have liked to have won it doing it or the only? I think you would, but obviously City had to win against Chelsea, and I looked at that game and I remembered the game from last season. Obviously, Chelsea won 2-0, and Kante and a certain David Luiz scored the goals that day. So I was quite confident for Chelsea actually getting something from that game. And now we're going to have a guard of honour at the Etihad, which is going to be so lovely. Going to be so lovely to see Raheem Sterling's face after obviously leaving us. So that'll be nice. But I wasn't alive when they last won the league. I was born in 1992. So
same here, yeah.
I missed the last title triumph. But no, it feels absolutely fantastic. And yeah, 30 years. I really hope we do not go 30 years a game without a title. Because honestly, that was a long, long way. I thought when 08-09 season, when that happened, we were very, very close then. We only finished 4 points off Manchester United that year, but we drew too many silly games and we lost too many silly games as well. 13-14, I know we were only 2 points behind Man City, but it was those games that lost us the title that day. It was the Chelsea and the Palace games. So to win it emphatically, and the way we've come back, especially after losing it by a point last season, we've taken out of the combined 2 seasons 183 points from a possible 190. So we've only dropped 7 points in amongst those 2 seasons. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you've only got one title.
I know.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? But I fully
What are
agree.
your thoughts?
I fully agree. I mean, it's sort of a relief because I felt like, I was born in '92 as well, and the only trophy I haven't seen Liverpool lift up over the years has been that Premier League title, and I've always felt like there's a curse among this club, and. I think Bruce Grobbelaar said that someone made a curse, some sort of black curse, onto the goalpost of Liverpool at Anfield, that they apparently pissed on the post, and sort of curse. Ever since that piss, Liverpool haven't been able to win the title. And he said to cure that curse before the season, funny enough, he said he had to go and piss over it. And and ironically ended up Liverpool winning the title this season. So maybe we have to say a big thanks to Bruce Grobbelaar.
Yeah. But I thought against Palace, Dylan, I think you'll probably say this, but Fabinho for me against Palace was probably man of the match.
Yeah.
And that was probably the Fabinho we signed from Monaco as well. Where I thought he was absolutely outstanding. It was the old Fabinho as well, because I've had this on so many times on my channel that I think Fabinho was our best player until he got injured. Up until obviously he got injured, he came back a different player, but it just kind of proved to me the other night that Fabinho was absolutely fantastic, and it was a near perfect performance, an assist and a fantastic goal, an absolute thunderous strike, which reminded me of Steven Gerrard-esque going for that right hand top corner. So very, very good. But
I fully agree.
It was absolutely fantastic to beat Palace. And I mean, everyone says that the Palace game. Look, I think everyone said it to me. Zaha got injured. As soon as he got injured, Palace didn't have anything going forward. I think the only shot I can remember them having was Meyer, and I think that was it. They just lost that pacey sort of winger to go against Trent, I thought.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I think it was a difficult one to say who should have got the man of the match, because every single one of them played so outstandingly well, and the fact that Crystal Palace only didn't have a touch of the ball inside Liverpool's box is just phenomenal. That's the first team to do it ever since they were collecting that data. So that's sort of amazing, and it shows how resilient this Liverpool team is, and hopefully it goes on for as long as it can be. But in terms of Leicester, I hope Leicester can sort of resolve all these issues, and they definitely need some players, and exactly like James was saying, the squad depth needs to be improved.
Yeah, that's something that we really need to work on, and hopefully we'll be joining you guys in the Champions League, but I'm not feeling confidence after this one, to be perfectly honest with you. As you're saying, the chasing pack are coming, and they're coming fast. Luckily, this all doesn't work against us in the Premier League in terms of points, but it will work us in terms of confidence, but we'll have to see. So I'd like to say, Doug and Dewan, thank you very much for joining us once again.
Thank you, guys.
And James, it's good to have you once again. And I'd just like to say to everybody, thank you for watching. Hopefully you like, subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next video.